True crime junkies, how we doing today? True Crime King is back. I'm going to be doing my daily Idaho 4 updates. Yay. So yeah, I guess I decided I'm going to at least do one video a day on the Idaho 4 until it's over. And then I'll sprinkle in some other videos here and there and surprise you. But yeah, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. That's 3 things you gotta do. 1, 2, 3 takes about a second. That's all I ask. I don't think it's that difficult. But other than that, let's get into it.
To conceal mobile phones, constantly sending and receiving signals, which also include location, and officials say that data has been discovered pinpointing the killer's location to areas near the victims in the weeks leading up to that fatal attack almost 2 months ago. Quadruple murder suspect 28-year-old BRYAN KOHBERGER was pursuing a PhD in criminology at Washington State University in Pullman, just a few miles from the apartment where those grisly murders took place. KOHBERGER's neighbor told the New York Post, quote, "It seems like he never slept because he was always doing something all night. I don't know how he could have killed people because he didn't look that tough. We are all..."
Yeah, well, you don't have to be tough. If people are sleeping at between 3 and 4 a.m. in the morning, and they're not going to put up a fight, and you have a big-ass, sharp-ass knife that's only meant for killing. That's the only thing a K-bar knife was made to do. Stab and kill.
All PhD students here, so it takes a lot of hard work and smarts to get to this point. There are also reports KOHBERGER is a recovering heroin addict. The KOHBERGER family defending their son in a statement following his arrest early Friday, quote, "We have fully cooperated with law enforcement agencies in an attempt to seek the truth and promote his presumption of innocence rather than judge unknown facts and make erroneous assumptions." Days after the murders...
Okay, well, time out. He has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murders. So, yes, technically he is still innocent. But, I mean, I don't think the police would charge him with that unless they had really solid evidence.
KOHBERGER drove over 2,000 miles from Idaho to Pennsylvania in order to allegedly hide out at his parents' home in the Poconos. A murder weapon has still not been recovered, guys. And Nicole, if I could offer a word perhaps for this week, peruse. It means to read carefully, actually.
Ooh, that's a good one. I do like that one.
I like it. Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you.
The Daily Mail has got a story this morning that apparently, the father flew out from their home in Pennsylvania, flew to Washington State, and then drove with his son 2,000 miles to bring the white Hyundai Elantra back home over the holiday week. And what's interesting is apparently, according to the Daily Mail, on December 16th, they stopped at a Pennsylvania car shop.
So hold on. His father flew out there and helped drive it back. This was all over the national news everywhere. There's no way they could have missed that. The police were looking for Elantras that were in that area at that time. Why didn't they report that, right? Come on, whoa. Did his dad help him?
Apparently there was some sort of maintenance issue, and it was the white Elantra. And there's no suggestion the father knew, but apparently they made the trip back to Pennsylvania together.
That's interesting.
Wow, that's something new that I've just learned.
I wonder what the conversation was. But it seems that he has...
So his dad drove back with him.
...waived his right to the extradition hearing, so he may be going back sooner, and that might help.
Oh, he waived his right to the extradition, so that's a good sign. So we should get more news faster now. As soon as he's back in Idaho, more information can be released.
But I can give us some more answers. But I will say that one thing that I wonder about when I hear about a young man in his early 20s, up all night vacuuming. It's a very common age where you see mental illness develop, especially schizophrenia. So I'll be interested to...
Yeah, that is true. In your late 20s, It happened with my brother. I mean, he developed schizophrenia, and he was 28, and then he hung himself. I mean, so saying this could have happened with Kohberger, but you know.
To hear more about his behaviors leading up. Thankfully, later on in the show, we have Dr. Michael Baden, forensic pathologist, is going to explain how genealogical DNA was actually used to help catch the suspect. That's going to be coming up today at 7:30 a.m.
That's right. Yeah, let's not forget, there's so many questions. Not only how they caught him, but to your point, Nicole, what was the motive? Like, we still really don't know why.
Well, they said that won't be released until he's actually seen in court. Correct?
Well, you think about what you said.
You know, the thing is, there's a possibility there might not even have been a motive. Like, if he did turn schizophrenic, he could have thought people were out to get him. You know, it's just a crazy disease or whatever you want to call it, illness, mental illness. But I don't know if he had that or not. So this is just, let's just wait and see.
He wants to come back. He's going to waive extradition so that he can prove that he was innocent. And this goes to the earlier stories about...
Yeah, I remember when he was arrested, he said, "Did you arrest anybody else?" He allegedly said that. So...
how on Reddit he was asking people about the perfect crime and stuff like that. Reportedly, after the murders, he was wearing gloves to the grocery store. He was trying not to have any fingerprints and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, then he knew what he was doing if he was wearing gloves everywhere after the murders.
Stuff like that. Dr. Baden's going to be talking a little bit about how that DNA was used. There was DNA collected at the site of the murders that night, a couple of months ago.
Yeah, and I want to find out exactly where they got that DNA from, because that's, if it was under the fingernails of the girls, or if it was some kind of blood. I mean, yeah, that's a big one too.
And then apparently it was compared to DNA through family members. Family members may have submitted to, one of those online genealogical things to see their heritage. And so it was publicly available. So they didn't say, hey, would you submit to a swab? They already had his family's DNA.
Well, interestingly, though, he was wearing gloves everywhere. Was that to not leave fingerprints, or was it because of some sort of paranoia or even COVID paranoia? We see people wearing gloves. So a lot of questions, not very many answers right now. We'll find out later today.
All right, guys. That's the daily Idaho 4 update. True Crime King out.